Hey guys, it's Ricky.
Hey everyone, it's Jessica.
Welcome to week 1 of Girl Talk, the podcast for our blog, Tales of the Millennial Housewife, where we cover any and every topic you ladies want and need to hear.
But before we get started, we want you to know that we don't cut and paste our audio. So what you hear is actual conversation plus some random banter because we're girls and our brains go in multiple directions. Or as we like to say here, real topics in real time.
This week's topic is, get ready for it, online dating. And we'll also cover a little bit about social media and that affecting relationships nowadays. And girl, I am so ready for this topic.
Well, it's one that everyone should know, and it's something that needs to be talked about, especially in this day and age.
Agreed. I guess just jumping into it, for those who don't know, I met Brian online, but Jessica did not meet her husband Morgan online. So I'll go to you first with kind of, obviously you know my story, but before that, what were your opinions on online dating, or did you have any preconceived notions, what you thought it was about? Did you think you liked it, not liked it? Give us the scoop.
Well, I think everyone kind of sees the commercials of eHarmony this and Match.com that, and it's everywhere. So everyone has in the back of their mind, oh, maybe I should try that. Maybe, what am I not doing in real life? What do I need to do online? And something that I personally feel is, how do you know that it's the person that you're actually talking to? And I think that's just my biggest thing is you see the show Catfish and, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be, tricked into thinking that you're meeting up with someone and it's not them. So I guess my overall thought of online dating is, does it work? Do you actually meet the person that they say they are? That kind of thing. And I know that you have plenty of stories to tell us about that. The good, the bad. So, as someone that didn't use an app ever, 24 years, but of not needing to use it. So I guess it's different in my mind. So I guess we could just, ask you the good, the bad, and I guess we can start with the bad because weird experiences are always better.
Yeah, agreed.
So, what made you decide to use it? What app did you use? How do you determine someone is who they say they are? Just give us the lowdown, and then you can always throw in there how you met your fiance. I love saying that word for you.
I know. Every time I go around, I'm like, it's my fiance, Brian. When you get that title, you gotta use it. Yeah. So, okay. I started to use it when I was, I want to say 18, 19. I really can't remember. I think it was just turning 19. And at the time I was in college, you and I were coaching gymnastics together. We ran a cheer program. Our lives, literally were the lives of probably full 25-year-olds. And I just didn't have time, to be honest. Where was I going to meet someone? At work? No, not going to do that. At school? Well, my program that I was in was primarily female, so that wasn't going to work either. So it was just more of a let me give it a go. I just, that'll help me meet people. And also, I did not want to date anyone from high school or that we grew up with. For those that don't know, Jessica and I, we've known each other since 6th grade, so high school, we know all the same people.
And it's a small town, but even then,
to me, I just didn't want anyone from the past, and the only way I was going to find that was online. So that's what made me decide to do it. And then I'm not sure the first one I went on. I think it was a stupid one, Zeus or something, because And now looking back, that was like mistake number one. But that's where I met the boyfriend I was with before Brian. And he was the boyfriend from absolute hell. And I mean, anyone who knows me personally knows that I was only with this guy for 6 months, and yet it was like I was with him for 4 years and he destroyed my life. Like,
it did not feel like 6 months for you. It was, or even for me being an outside person, it was not, it felt so much longer.
Right. And I think too, you know, that'll have to be a different subject for a different day, because we could get so far into that. But long story short,
so many ex-boyfriends that deserve a what not to do topic.
Yeah. Long story short, though, I really didn't know who I was getting myself involved with. I was young. We, you know, of course, we talked online. We went on dates. I got into a relationship very quickly with him, and it ended horribly. I spent a long time after that not using online dating. I didn't date anyone, actually, for quite a while. I took time to heal. But then I told myself, okay, that was one person, you know, that's not going to turn me off to online dating completely. I just need to go about this a very different way. And so then I went on to Plenty of Fish. That's the one I used and stayed on the remainder of the time. And I did have a couple of horror stories. I'm just going to throw that out there. That if you choose to do online dating, any dating though, I mean, you can meet a psycho on the street. You know, you never know who's asking you out until
or at
you know.
church. You know, we can't discriminate. There's
yes,
there's horrible people everywhere.
There's crazies everywhere. So I just told myself, just be smart about it, and whoever you do end up talking to, don't start dating them a week later. And I had dates where, I mean, I could give you a ton of stories, but the one that sticks out that really made me change how I approach things was I went and met up with this guy, and we met at his apartment. And we were going to meet at his apartment, and then he was going to take me to Frozen Yogurt or whatever, which it was kind of a new town, a new area for me. So I was like, that's fine. I'll just meet him. He can take me there, and that'll be fine. I went walked up to his apartment, walked inside. He's like, let me just grab my wallet and we'll go. So nothing was really like a red flag at that point to me. But as soon as we stepped inside, he locked the door behind me.
Girl, get out.
And that, I mean, my head went to, you know what, that's like a habit I do every time you walk in the door. You know, maybe he just wasn't thinking it's a habit to lock the door behind you. But I stayed by the door. Like, something just told me, like, well, just stay here by the door. Like, don't go sit on the couch. We're not staying here. And he was taking so long, like, wherever he went, his room or wherever, to grab his wallet, that I then called my sister and put her on speakerphone, which flashed back. Anytime you go on one of these dates, I highly recommend. I would always at least tell someone where I was going, what I was doing. If I call you and I don't say anything, just know that I have you on speaker. I'm just wanting someone there. And so she knew to stay on the line, which was great. And so he walks back out like 5 minutes later. This is where my head started to be like, you don't know what he's in there grabbing. Like, why am I here? Why did I do this? And he comes back out and he's like, you know what? Like, let's just stay here. Like, we should just stay here and hang out. And I was like, no, I'm good. You know, that's not really like a first date thing for me. Let's just go get the frozen yogurt. And that's when it got bad. I was at the door and he kind of like pushed himself up against me and pushed me against the door. And he was like, no, like, I think we should stay here. Like, dead serious, like, tone, had his force against me. And luckily, like, I shoved him off. I was right by the door. I grabbed the door, got myself out. Like, I'm going to scream. Someone's going to hear me. And once I got out, like, he didn't chase after me. You know what I mean? I think he was like, well, she's going to put up a fight. So
our dads didn't teach us to be little girls. They taught us to stand up for ourselves. And thankfully, we have that background, and you have that background, because there's a lot of people, or, you know, a lot of women that don't. And
right. And I mean, I am not naive to the fact that, like, it could have been so much worse. I didn't know what
totally.
he was grabbing in his room, so I got lucky. But that is where I went, you know what, this is a little bit more than, like, they're not who they say they are. Like, that you can be in a dangerous situation, and I need to think about that. So moving forward, you know, I went on a couple more dates. Someone told me they were 6 foot, you know, 5'10", and they ended up being 5'3". And you deal with people lying about things all the time. But
it's not like you're being, you know, you're not just looking at their looks, and you're not just, you know, for someone to lie, like, right off the bat and then go meet up with you, like, I think that's just, like, it's bad form. Like,
well, that's the thing.
Why are you going to say
like
who you're not?
It sounds shallow at first to be like, well, they lied and they weren't as tall as I wanted them to be. But if he would have been honest, you know, I don't get what the point was. Like, if he followed through, we met up, you knew I was going to see you. So I'm just not sure where that goes. And even Brian, my sorry, my dog Zara. When we said this is real talk in real time, we mean it. My dog had an opinion on that. So Brian, my now fiance, he had an experience too where during online dating he met up with a girl that, you know, he saw her pictures, and, you know, we all take pictures the best angle of ourselves, but he showed up and she was about, you know, probably 200 pounds more than she was perceived to be. And, you know, I'm not saying that there's, you know, I'm not trying to be shallow and that there's anything wrong with that, but what's he going to do?
Yeah, what's the point of saying, that's like me, I'm 5'3". That's like me saying that I am 6 foot tall with legs for days, and then I show up and I'm this little dwarf. Like, that's, like, what's the point?
Yeah. So, you know, there's going to be those experiences. It's up to you how you handle it. I mean, it was just more, like you said, the precedent of, like, you're going to really start out on a lie. But
it's the principle of the thing.
Moving forward, I then obviously met Brian. And the way he reached out to me was just so different than anyone had before. The message he sent me wasn't like a pickup line. It wasn't like, hey, let's go to bed together, because you will get those. I mean, you're going to get those, though, whether you're online or on the street. Like, there's men, there's women that are just like that. So I wouldn't really put that only on online dating.
But at least you didn't, like, slide into your DMs.
Yeah, and so he messaged me, and I don't remember word for word, but it went something like, you know, I saw your picture, and obviously, like, I think you're really beautiful, but I read your bio, and that's, like, you seem really ambitious, like, you seem like you have a lot going for you, like, I'd love to get to know you. And it was like, wow, like, okay, you took the time to actually read, like, what I do. You started an actual conversation. Like, he seems like he is genuine. So that was where I was like, okay, this is different. And I messaged him back, obviously. I was like, thank you so much. Like, that's so sweet. And we talked and realized that we lived an hour and a half away from each other. So we talked for about a week, decided, yeah, like, this is flowing well. What we want is matching up. And he asked me, like, can I take you out on a date? I'll drive up there. And I was like, no, I'll meet you halfway. Like, that, you know, we'll meet in the middle. But we couldn't plan the date for another week because we lived so far apart. So we're like, we'll plan it for next weekend. And I had the idea in my head, like, why don't we Skype? You know, why don't we FaceTime, Skype before the date? Like, at least we can see each other and chat. Which, looking back,
and you can make sure it's who they say they are.
Yes, because I'm like, first of all, I'm not about to drive this distance to be catfished.
Exactly.
It was the best decision I could have done looking back. Highly recommend, because I did see he was who he said he was. It was kind of like a date. We got to see each other and talk, and that made it to where by the time we had our first date, we were past the awkward part, and we actually got to sit there and get into some good conversation and talk and enjoy each other. And our first date ended up lasting 6 hours. And
I remember I texted you and I was like, are you okay? And you're like, yes, I am fantastic. This is amazing. And don't text me again. I was like, okay, bye.
I'm like, girl. No, and I thought to myself, like, he is either a master manipulator serial killer or he's the one I'm going to marry, because there just can't be any in between. And luckily it was the latter.
Because we've had the previous situations where,
yes. So I guess just on that, it's like, it isn't for everyone. You have to be pretty patient. If you think that going online is the quickest way and the fastest way, I mean, maybe like eHarmony or something like that. But either way, online or actual dating, like however you want to call it, you're going to have to go through, like, you got to go through the frogs to find a prince, so just prepare yourself, be smart about it, and then I think it's fine. It worked out for me. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm not embarrassed to tell people how Brian and I met. Neither is he. And yeah, it worked out in the end.
Exactly. And I think, you have to find what works for you. And, looking back, I don't know if I would have ever used an online dating site, possibly if I hadn't have met Morgan. So, I mean, it's just finding something that works for you. And obviously it does work. We hear stories about it all the time. Oh, this is where I met my husband. This is where I met my wife. And, and it works out. You just have to really figure out you're meeting who
what works with your lifestyle. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Definitely.
I just want to touch on something that Jessica doesn't even know I'm about to touch on this, but something I get asked a lot is, at what time is it appropriate to cancel your account? Like, you found someone, you're going on dates, how soon do I jump off there? Because so many times someone's like, I'll hear someone, well, I've been talking to him, but I see him, he's still online, he must be chatting with other people. And this is something that really bothers me, because I'm the type of person that, I will be very real with someone if they ask me, and I'll just be like, just ask. If you aren't having the conversation about, are we, at this point, are we exclusive at this point, then I don't really feel bad, because at the end of the day, we're all adults. And I don't think I'd want to be with someone anyway that couldn't have that conversation. So once Brian and I went on a date, and I knew, like, this is someone that really has potential, I deleted my account, and so did he. Because here's the thing. You can always reactivate it. You're not going to lose anything. If you want to truly give someone a chance, you have to shut down that alternate, like, additional attention. Otherwise, anytime they do something that annoys you or pisses you off, you're going to be like, well, it's okay, I have so-and-so in the DMs.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I just think you have to be your own call on that. There was times where I was talking to a few people on there, but that's because nothing was at that point. When you find someone where you're like, wow, we've gone on a date, this is actually someone I want to invest in, I say shut it down. You can, if it doesn't work, you can pick it back up later, but you can't give yourself the easy out. You have to push. And I think that brings us into our next topic, which is, how do you deal with social media while you are in a relationship and you do have accounts, not dating accounts, hopefully, but, Facebook, Snapchat, because let's be real, that really is the same thing. You can message anyone you want on there, so
exactly. There's so many different apps for interacting with other people. Snapchat, and then Instagram has its own messaging as well as, like, commenting on stuff, and Facebook has commenting as well as Messenger. There's so many different things, and, like, Brian doesn't have a Facebook.
No, and I know
you and
Morgan do, and you're married, so
exactly.
I ask, how do you guys handle that, or did you set guidelines? Do you not care that much? Like, what does that dynamic look like for you guys?
Well, we've always been pretty open, I can get into his phone anytime I want. He can get into mine. You know, we're not the type of people to, I'm pretty sure I've had the same passcode on my phone since I got an iPhone. So, that, I don't, you know, we both don't hide anything. But if you have insecurities, those really don't go away no matter how secure you feel in a relationship. So there's been times where, you know, I'll see someone message him on Snapchat or through Facebook, and I ask, like, okay, who's that? And he'll show me, you know, oh, this is so-and-so, this is their kid, and this is their husband.
Right.
He gives me who they are, why he's talking to them. Most of the time he'll be like, yeah, we were just talking about this. There's a friend of his that they Snapchat all the time, and it's literally just them sending pictures of their children back and forth. You know,
Right.
It's nothing it's nothing exciting. But you have to have that conversation. You have to make it known that, like me, and I know you, we both have anxiety, certain levels of depression. We have our insecurities. We have horror stories from previous relationships. So when you find someone that doesn't put you down for having those insecurities and will tell you, like Morgan does, hey, this is who it is, you have no reason to worry. You know, you have to find someone that will pick you up when you're feeling down. And I think that's the biggest thing about social media and being able to get that instant gratification from some other person, no matter if you know them or if you don't know them, because you can put a picture and go, wow, I'm not feeling great today. And you'll get 15 people saying, oh my gosh, you're so good, you're so pretty, you know, this and that. You'll get a random guy to message you and going, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on, but you're beautiful and we should talk. Like, it'll happen to anyone.
Totally.
And you need to remember that that is instant but not lifelong gratification. So I think, you know, just talking about it and letting your significant other know what your boundaries are and just talking. Honestly, it's that easy.
I think that's it. And there's so many couples out there, I'm sure, that don't even give it a second thought. And I think that's great. And then there's people like, I mean, I found out my ex was cheating through Facebook. So you don't want to build a new house with old bricks. You don't want to put that on someone that didn't do that to you. But
exactly,
if you're honest from the start and be like, this is why I'm a little shaky towards this subject, or a little,
and this is what I've been through. Like, you have to really talk about what you've been through so that, you know, ignoring the past, you'll recreate that same for your history. So, I mean, you have to kind of put it out there and change your future if that's what you want.
Yeah, and Brian, you know, like you said, he doesn't have social media. He doesn't really like it, but I do. But you'll see, you know, it's just about respecting each other, and you set your own boundaries. And he's in my profile picture. It says on my profile that I'm engaged, so he knows it's not like some hidden account that I'm using, and he knows that. And as long as you're open, it's all different relationships. And here's the thing. Someone that is going to be unfaithful is going to do it whether they have social media or not. Does social media make it easier? Yes. And
definitely.
I'm not going to lie to you. We have all been there in our relationship where we're feeling down and somebody comes along at the right time and tries to offer you attention. And you just have to tell yourself, like you said, this might be instant gratification, but this person, chances are, is they're not going to come sweep me off my feet, put a ring on it, and do for me what this person I'm angry at has done. And that's the lifelong gratification I want. And you have to set that barrier in your mind, and it's hard. It is so hard in the moment sometimes.
It's really hard in the moment.
But it's priorities, and you have to really think, if I do this right now, and this happens, like, look at all I'm losing for a minute of comfort, you know.
Definitely. And, you know, like you said, even if you don't have social media, I mean, it could be someone at the grocery store. It could be someone that you work with.
True.
And it's just something that you know, that you need to remind yourself, yeah, I'm sad right now. Yes, I'm angry. But you're with someone that truly makes you happy, and that's what you need to go back to, no matter how angry you are.
Right. Use social media for what it's meant for. You know, that's what I would say is it can be a great thing, it can be a horrible thing, but that's not social media, that's the person. And I think that's the wrap up end of all of this is like, it's the person. Whether it's online dating, in-person dating, social media, not social media, who you're with is going to do what they're going to do either way. The date's going to go bad or good, no matter if it's from online or not, depending on the person. So it's all about who you choose, not what platform.
Exactly. Definitely. And
well, I think that wraps up week 1 topic. I mean,
yep.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much all of it. But of course,
all right.
If anyone has questions, they can always comment and ask us.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up week 1 then. Stay tuned, you guys, every Tuesday for another podcast topic, and follow the rest of our blogs throughout the week. We do a bunch of different topics, not podcasts, but on our actual blog, and that's talesofthemillennialhousewives.com.
And, we'd also love it if you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so that you don't miss another one of our episodes every Tuesday. And like I said, comment on here or on our Instagram page, any topic that you guys want us to cover. We're open to anything. So I guess we'll talk to you guys next week on
Girl Talk.
All right. Bye.